God, it only says one here. Rain Griswold of Port Moody has been identified as the man killed in early morning fire. But 2 died.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You don't have a date on this paper, you see. And this is from the Columbian?
The first article is from the 21st.
Both are from the Columbian?
Yeah, and the second article is from the 23rd.
23rd.
Yeah.
We were at home. The fire was at, as it said here, at 4 in the morning. We were at home. We were at the time living in North Vancouver, and we received a call about that same time as this was starting. It was the worst night of our career. We received the call, got up, we drove. It was the longest 20-minute drive to New Westminster. We didn't say a word to each other as we headed out there to find all this. The fire was out at the time, and there was quite a commotion out front. And coming down Columbia Street, the fire trucks were about and everything. I forget where we had to park. We had to make our way down. And we saw various people, police and other people also there, and firemen, and our staff at the time. I don't know where he was. He was somewhere there where we found him, and a few of the customers wandering out front. Some were dressed, some were partially dressed, and some were even in towels still. It was kind of a rush thing to get them out.
Court proceedings determined that the fire had been instigated by a cigarette that was left burning in the NuWest's fitness area. It was deemed an accident, and went generally unnoticed by the media and public, who were enthralled with Mount St. Helens eruption, which took place within the same week in 1981. The 2 men who passed away died of smoke inhalation. They were both from the Fraser Valley and were both married with children. Were you ever afraid that they would try to guilt you?
No, they were upset that these people were there all through the night, and they tried to push the thing that it was a flop house and things like that. But this is where the gay community comes to, and there wasn't too much that they could really say. They never pushed to have us closed down or to curtail our hours or anything, no.
Dennis and Ron eventually overcame the fire and were quickly back in business. Unfortunately, they were about to face a much greater challenge in the following years, as Vancouver's gay community was struck by the AIDS crisis.
Our other bathhouse downtown, it did suffer, but not as much as the NuWest. It was on the TV every night with Rock Hudson. The people couldn't believe what he looked like.
AIDS was particularly destructive for homosexual sex for those who did not identify with the gay community. These individuals were isolated and lacked a support network that could mitigate the fear of being outed and of dying.
Over the years, we've lost a number of staff to the AIDS crises, both locations, in NuWest and downtown. And it's never a nice situation. Have you had any friend die of AIDS?
No.
Really? None? You've never seen someone dying of AIDS?
I've never seen anybody.
It's scary. It's not a nice thing to see. Doing it with anybody, and
well, there's just so
you want to get as old as me, don't you? Someday.
Yeah, of course. But there's just so little continuity, I feel. There's so little, like, we hear about it more as a health crisis than as a tragedy.
We had never had intention of closing it down.
No.
We were closed down by other elements.
What do you mean by that exactly? What did they do?
They had a big ultimate plan that they were just going to crash through and close us up on their own ways and means without a rental agreement or anything else. Just come crashing in and throw us out, which they did one Saturday morning in March. They came actually right through the steam room. A young fellow working at the time, I think there was one customer in the place like at 8 in the morning, and all of a sudden there's people in the building from crashed through this. He just panicked, whatever, phoned us, and phoned the police. The police said it was an internal situation. They did enough damage by noon. The place was unsalvageable after that. So that was all closed down. The police did finally come, I think, later and told them just to leave and us to close down. And it really never reopened after that. There was court proceedings, we spent a lot of money and never really gained back the business. People in New Westminster turned against the Alano Club after reading all the goings on. And they themselves abandoned their location there, sold it to, I believe, the Ismailis. It's an Ismaili center now or something. But downstairs have never reopened, never been used as anything. It's just upstairs. But the Alano Club got the wrath of most of the citizens and of New Westminster, and they abandoned, sold out, and where they went to, who knows. Yeah.
1960, and we thought we were stars.
The NuWest Steambath stands as a testament to the lives, stories, and spaces of suburban men who dared to challenge the norms of heterosexual living in the suburbs.
I think about 3 months, so I can get it free.
New Westminster continues to foster a growing community that has progressively become more visible and assertive. Today, it boasts openly queer-owned cafes, a massage parlor, and other businesses, including a bathhouse.